Game Week 24 Preview Show. Hello and welcome to the Armband. I'm your host Chris, and Kieran is here with me too. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay, I suppose. Not a great week, but we'll talk about that in a sec.
Oh god, yeah, it's just rough. I think this week I was going into it thinking it looked like a good week on paper, but I think the Haaland benching and Foden benching like a little bit before the deadline just made everything a bit crazy, and yeah, I think it was a bit of a mixed week. Yeah, we'll talk about that more in a minute. On tonight's show, we're going to have a look at the fixtures, Game Week 24, have a broader look as well to Game Week sort of 28 as well, next 4 fixtures. We're going to look at some teams and players to target, and also we're just going to recap how we got on last game week. If you're new, checking us out, and you do enjoy our content, please do like and subscribe to help support us. It would mean the world. And if you want to join in, please comment or drop any questions below, and we will get back to as many as possible before the deadline. Cool. Right, no better place to start than the review after that big announcement. So, yeah, do you want to go first with your Tales of Woe?
Yeah, just another horror game week. I guess I'm a little bit immune and used to these now. Just terrible weeks on terrible weeks. 37 points, like 7 points below the average of 44. Terrible. Just not good. Basically, only returns was Anderson and Bruno's assist, and Roger as well, and then Chalobah okay with DEFCON, but conceding in the 85th minute or something.
Just to 10 men as well.
Captain Etikike, because I've heard of the Haaland news, and then I saw on Twitter that like a journalist who'd got the teams right basically all the time up until this week, and he said Etikike was starting, so I was like confident in the choice. Obviously after the lineups come out, he's just tweeting that late change, and it's just like fuck me. So Etikike captain was terrible. Obviously it didn't really matter much with Haaland. I kept Haaland on the pitch because Minte or Mane was neither here nor there really this week. Just Arsenal conceding like double clean sheet guys. Saka still doing absolutely nothing. Bruggen being outscored by Dubravka on the bench 2 weeks in a row. And who do they play again? Conceding 2 to Fulham bad. Mukalele, thank God he's getting an assist like two weeks in a row. Because Sunderland have kind of not been so great recently either defensively. So just terrible. 9 million gaming rank. Got 14 weeks left to somehow try and get out of the overall rank is nearly 2.9 million now, so I'm nearly at 3 million, so I'm going backwards still. 14 weeks left. When am I going to get some kind of momentum shifts? I don't know, to be honest. So just bad.
That is tough game week. But it was weird because you think when Haaland's not playing and everyone kind of, let's say most people know it, you feel like it's a really good chance to get a bit of advantage because you're going to pick everyone. The captaincy is going to be so split, but then it feels like all the main popular captain shouts after Haaland were probably Etikike, Saka, and Thiago, and they all blanked. So it was all much of a muchness anyway. I think if anyone went a little bit outside that, maybe Semenyo had some picks, but I didn't really see many people have a captain return this game week. So it was a low scoring one.
If you're a Gehi and Semenyo owner, loving it.
Would have been good. So I scored less. I scored 34 this game week, and like you, I barely had any returns. So who did I have? I had Semenyo and Rodgers as my and Bruno Fernandes as my only returners. So going at about 10 minutes before the deadline, I got Rodgers benched for Foden. I didn't have Bruno. So 2 of my returners got brought in those final 10 minutes. So it would have been a lot worse. It was typical in a way that I had no real plans to play Anderson. He was on my bench with 8 points, and he got his only assist of the, like you say, the only second return of the season, got a bonus off the back of that, and I was like, oh, it's just so typical when Ballard, who I chose to play above him just because better DEFCON rate, more goal involvement rate, who, fair enough, he scooped his goal moment, but something fell to pieces without Xhaka there, and makes me think, ugh, for them at the moment. So,
indeed.
Yeah, not so keen on that at the minute.
Not sure what his injury is or how long he's out for. So
They've said it's a while. They said they haven't put a timeline on it, but they said it's an ankle injury and he's going to be sidelined for rehabilitation. So
ooh,
it makes me
okay.
think it's not good. So
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a good fixture now this game week. I think they're playing Burnley at home, but after that, it's yeah, a really sort of rough run, and yeah,
Yeah.
without him there, I think it's going to be even more difficult for them. So yeah, I don't fancy that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on to this game week and have a chat about yeah where we can improve. I'm finding it difficult at the moment to think where we can do it. Um, I've got like a list of the total number of players that have been transferred in this game
Mm.
week, and 3 of the top 5 are Man United players, 2 of the top 5 are Chelsea players. So perhaps it'd be good to start with a little bit on Man United really and that performance against Arsenal.
Yeah, so obviously they're pretty hot at the moment.
Mm.
Bruno, Mbuemo, Dorgu. Although Dorgu now seems to be
Yeah.
out for looks like 10 weeks plus, so
Mm.
basically the rest of the season. So not great in terms of him hitting form. People who got him this week probably thinking it was just cramp, as that was what was said.
Mm.
So yeah, our friend in our chat had done that as well.
I know, it's savage.
Yeah, so yeah, shame that he obviously hit some form and looked like he was, providing some actual, I don't know, just like good sort of play in that sort of
Yeah, he
left
was doing
side,
well.
and it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it just sort of came out of nowhere, I guess, in terms of form. Um, but yeah, like Bruno looking like he's probably the best captaincy shout this week now. Yeah, what is the fixture again?
It's Fulham at home this week.
Fulham at home. Yeah.
Mm.
So like Haaland's got what? Spurs away. I mean, yeah,
It's not
okay. But like
awful, but mm.
form is not great for City in general, especially not Haaland. So yeah, it seems like most people are just defaulting to Bruno Fernandes captain this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, three assists in the last 3 weeks. So not hauling, but being pretty consistent. You know, doing good in the bonus sort of area, doing good in the def cons. So yeah, I think he's there. I mentioned Mbuemo last week as someone who, um, I don't think many people were looking at, and yeah, I said like I was impressed by him playing the 9 position and being flexible,
Mm.
and yeah, he's still continuing to do that, and obviously scored. So I like him there. People are certainly looking at the double up now, and yeah, I don't mind that. So yeah, and then I also wanted to talk about quickly like the other like sort of latest news of like the struggling teams of like there's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. They
shift
flipped it.
that's going on as well. So yeah, the struggling teams who were like kind of bad are starting to pick up form. So Forest have got 2 wins and 1 draw in the last 3, and they've got Crystal Palace, Leeds, Wolves in the next 3 coming up. So they could be someone or
Mm.
a team we could start to look at defensively, possibly like an Iron or Milenkovic, something like that, and maybe one of their attackers. Yeah, Wolves, as we've kind of seen, 1 win, 3 draws, 1 loss in the last 5. Obviously, the result against City was not so great, but they looked fine.
Mm.
So they've had games versus City, United, and Newcastle in that lot. So yeah, starting to pick up form, and yeah, not the whipping boys as they were
Yeah.
before. And then West Ham, yeah, 2 wins in the last 2. They got Chelsea, Burnley, Man United, Bournemouth coming up, but 2 impressive wins, I think. So yeah, like Bowen is like the third highest scoring forward,
Mm.
and basically no one's owned him all year, and he just keeps being consistent. He's never really like that holy or flashy, but
No.
he's just always
He's
up
just
there, isn't
there,
he?
isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And the fixtures are not that bad coming. So yeah. And then there's teams that are starting to struggle now who were doing well. Sunderland, as we mentioned earlier, 3-0 loss to Brentford. They're 3-1 loss to West Ham. So yeah, then they've got Burnley, Arsenal, Liverpool, Fulham, Bournemouth. Like that's a tough run coming.
Mm.
So uh, yeah, I don't love the fact that obviously Xhaka is gone, and yeah, the defense is starting to look a bit suspect. They're not scoring as many goals. So yeah, Sunderland players, I think, obviously Mukiele and Ballard are decently cheap, and you can probably hold on to them just for hopes of clean sheets and defcons. But
Mm.
yeah, if you can get rid of them, I probably would start to look at getting rid. And then Brentford, they've had 2 losses in the last 2 after scoring quite a few
Yeah.
goals recently. But they got Aston Villa, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Brighton in the next 4. So those 4 look pretty tough. Brighton at home, yeah, should be an open game, but the other 3, Villa, Newcastle, and Arsenal, look tough.
Mm.
So let's see how they go in these next ones. I can't see them picking up any wins there really. So yeah, they could be starting to look down the table quite a bit. So yeah, the swing in sort of teams with
yeah, that's quite
fixtures
interesting.
and form is happening. Yeah, Munoz is back as well, which is quite
Yeah.
interesting for Palace. I think their team actually looked a lot better than I expected it to. Like Mateta was in there, Sarr was back as well. So I think Palace maybe. Like I think we talked about the fixtures being quite good.
Mm,
So we could be looking at someone like a Munoz back in again. So like you know, the team looked fine. I thought they were all kind of like down in
together.
tools and going like completely wrong way of just like
Mm.
totally against Palace, but maybe they're back on the menu. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting about the teams that are struggling picking up form because when I looked at the fixtures for this game week and I was deciding on captaincy after Haaland, I was just thinking, yeah, Forest seemed like a great fixture for Brentford. And
Mm.
also, I was pretty confident this weekend in Sunderland against West Ham, and I started two of their players. And obviously, those results flipped. And I think they were probably surprise results. But when you look at the
Yeah.
form, those teams have turned it around. And
Hmm.
West Ham definitely an interesting one because we'll probably talk about Chelsea a bit more tonight and their players. But Chelsea have obviously got this prime run of fixtures now, and yeah, I don't know if West Ham might end up being a bogey fixture at the start of it. And like you mentioned, Wolves are also improving. So even though Chelsea performed well in the last two
Mm.
fixtures,
Hmm.
are these next two really as good as they look? So yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I still think they're worth targeting, especially West Ham defense. I think at least. So
Mm.
um, yeah, maybe not Wolves defense, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, just to pick up on Palace, I yeah done some notes on those tonight because I just wondered whether they were back on the a menu because I think for the long term, I think it's the next four or yeah next here we are the next sort of like 4 or 5 fixtures are pretty good. So they've got Forest away this game that you mentioned there, whose form are improving. Brighton away, which I think is a fine fixture for Palace, and
Hmm.
then Burnley and Wolves back to back at home. I kind of like was thinking about it like the fixtures are there, but which players will be like we've heard that Mateta's handed a transfer request, and it's funny. I don't know if that's like affected his confidence performance, but like he missed some big chances in that Chelsea game.
He's been
Like
doing all year.
he's
Yeah.
just he's such a strange finisher because he seems like of all players to get like some really good big chances, and the amount of times he like fluffs his shot or just hits it straight at the goalkeeper. You think if they had like a slightly better striker, the amount of chances they create. And that's what made me like it's making me question a little bit about my Chelsea defensive investment this week. But yeah, I'll talk more about that a bit later. But
There's talks of like teams like United looking at him. It's just like,
it's mad.
oh
Why?
no,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like,
he's not.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not like a top finisher. But I think Palace, they were pretty poor against Chelsea, given how good they've been against top sides under Glasner
Mhm.
in the last couple of years, and in the last 2 game weeks. So essentially, since they've lost Gahey and Glasner's come out and said that he's leaving the end of the season. They are the third worst for expected goals conceded with
Yeah.
3.9 total, and they've conceded 5, which is the worst record in the league. And if you consider they've played, a struggling, let's say, Sunderland team in there, or like recently struggling Sunderland team, and then obviously Chelsea, who, are notorious for not scoring like that many goals, especially in away games. That was quite a surprise to see that. So I think they're still in a really hard spot to buy, but the fixtures are like turning a little bit. And if you look at it at a slightly longer horizon, they only play one of the current top 4 sides now until game week 30.
I think we could probably wait for them
Yeah,
until Burnley and Wolves. I think just like because I
yeah,
think Forest got a few here and probably win,
mm,
and then Brighton is going to be an open game,
yeah,
and then like, but who's scoring for Wolves for
yeah.
Palace? So then just Burnley and Wolves at home, you kind of just
You could go for it.
back them for that, and then yeah, you can get one or two of them,
Mm.
and then
Well,
yeah,
Munoz is still expensive, 5.8 million, which was a surprise. He didn't drop
mm,
that much. His game
yeah,
against Chelsea was so quiet. No shots, expected assists of 0.02 and 76 minutes. So maybe that's kind of expected after a month out. But yeah, I'm the same. I was looking at the fixtures thinking, Palace are kind of up there, but given their recent form, I'm prepared to hold on till game weeks 26 when they've still got like 4 or 5 decent fixtures, and Munoz looks like a good bet then, or Lacroix.
yeah. I wonder if he was told to kind of just like take it easy
Rein it in a
almost a little
bit.
bit, like, yeah,
Yeah.
just to not get injured again, just, like, ease himself back in, and, like, who knows if that's a tactical change as well, possibly, 'cause
Could
obviously
be.
losing Gahey is a huge thing, so, maybe they wanted to try and be more defensively sound without him back it like, going so far
Yeah.
forward,
Yeah.
which could have been a thing 'cause like you said, they've been pretty bad defensively recently, so, yeah, interested to see how that
Mm.
that pans out. If he's looking like he's getting shots and getting forward in the next two, then Burnley and Wolves looks decent for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, that was pretty much all I had on Palace really, but I think it's almost like a wait to see for me for them.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to talk about Bournemouth. Yeah, you did mention a few of them last week, but I'm going to talk about a few of their like lesser owned players who look like they could be options now. So yeah, Wolves, Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham, Sunderland, and Brentford over the next 6. Yeah, top of Hub's fixture ticker for ease of schedule. So yeah, they seem like we should be getting onto at least one of them or two. Yeah, they continue to struggle away from home defensively. 11 goals conceded in the last 4 away, and then home isn't actually much better with 7 goals conceded at home in the last 4. And I think I just saw on X that Senesi is being looked at by Juventus in this window. So
yeah, that's interesting.
That's interesting as well. So if they lose, they lost Sabani last year. If they lose Senesi as well, like Huijsen went to Madrid, like yeah, I think they might be struggling in the centre back position, which they already are, I suppose. So, yeah, XG wise across the season, yeah, 36.64, which is 6th, which is pretty good across the season, and then 11.65, which is 3rd in the last 6 weeks. So good going forward still, even with Semenyo going out, and Cliver and Tavernier. So a lot of their big players going out, they're still looking pretty good going forward. Maybe that helps play in a turgid Liverpool defense, but yeah. And then 33.0 XGC across the season, which is 15th worst, so not great. And then 10.3 XGC in the last 6 weeks is 18th worst. So as you said, as we've talked about, like the defense has not been good this year. But Senesi, if he doesn't go, does seem to keep picking up assists and attacking returns, and is basically nailed on for DEFCONs most weeks. So yeah, you can't really go too wrong with him. How expensive is he now? I'm not even sure.
He's like, is he like 5'3" maybe?
Okay, so decent-ish price. Most people can probably afford him with not too many premiums in people's teams. So yeah, he should be an okay buy. You expect over these fixtures they're defensively get a bit better. So yeah, the next 6 are decent. Obviously, Villa at home could be tough, but Villa don't strike you as a team that score like 3-4 plus goals in a game or anything like that. So yeah, I think DEFCONs in most of these games he picks it up even against bad teams. So yeah, Senesi fine. And then yeah, wanted to mention Jimenez, Alex Jimenez, 4.5 million, 0.1% owned. So like a proper differential. But he's a possible out of position defender playing in a front 4. So last game he was playing the right wing position where Tavernier was playing. So but before that he started all games since game 14 at right back. So he has been playing, and even if he doesn't play the front 4, I guess he would just slot back in to right back because Adam Smith came in and covered him at right back this week. So I think he's got potential as a decent pickup, as a differential to Senesi, but he's not great on DEFCONs. So you really look at him being that out of position defender and possibly getting attacking returns. So which he did last week. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. So since game week 14, he's got 4, 6, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 0, 2, 7. So it's not great, but it's consistent in the fact that he's at least getting 3 most weeks. So yeah, last week 7 with the assists. So yeah, not bad, possibly an option.
Was he close on DEFCON at all? I'm just thinking if that was like a string
to be honest, I didn't even look, to be honest. But I'm blinded by the OP thing. A defender at 4.5 million with good fixtures and 0.1% owned. So
8. So not bad.
Yeah, so he could get there.
He's hit it twice. He's hit it twice. That's pretty decent. Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, I imagine he's got more chance of that happening when he's playing right back. But so yeah, we'll see. But I think he's an option. And then Krupi, I think we've talked about him before, but we'll mention him again. Like 4.6 million, 4.8% owned. Talk of like all the strikers being pretty bad, so we could just go for a Mane or Gui or whoever plus Krupi and just have 2 kind of really cheap options, just rotate in with Haaland. Even Haaland could be a sell, because he's been that bad. But yeah, so even with Tavernier and Cliver out and Semenyo gone, like he's still not getting 90 minutes, which I thought he kind of would.
I thought so too.
He's starting, but he's got like only he's only once got more than 70 minutes in the last few. So once, over the last 6, I think it's got more than 70 minutes. So, of his last 6 starts, his XG has been 0.0 versus Liverpool, the last, which you would expect it would have been higher last game after 3 goals scored, but he didn't do anything in that game XG wise. 0.05 versus Brighton away, 0.65 versus Tottenham at home. So and did get a return there. 0.00 versus Everton at home, not great. 0.83 versus West Ham United at home, where he did get a return as well. So I'm a little bit worried about the XG sort of values there, where he's kind of a little bit feast or famine when he has high XG and chances. Like, that's good, obviously. But other times he can just completely disappear. So
I suppose you get what you pay for, don't you, with him?
I guess, yeah. Like, I mean, we don't know if he's got penalties. Basically, like he's. I heard that he'd asked for it when who was it who scored the last one?
Tavernier.
Yeah, Tavernier. That's it. Yeah. So, Tavernier gone now, so maybe he gets it. But like, the next person I'm going to talk about, Evan Nilsson, 7 million, 2.1%. He's possibly not on penalties, right? But surely he's next in line, like ahead of Krupi, right? You would think so. But we're not sure, I suppose. To me, like, he always feels like the bridesmaid and not the bride. And like 3 goals in his last 4, obviously great. His XG is pretty consistently high. 90 in the last 2 matches. I'm guessing that's probably only because of Adley and Krupi are less experienced, and those are the ones going off.
Yeah.
So he could be a no-brainer in this situation with these fixtures coming up, and nailed on. Probably going to play 90 minutes, but not on penalties. Often, like I had him at the end of last season, with the good run of fixtures, and he just basically did nothing. Like, I don't think he returned at all over like 8 game weeks or something. So like, that is the sort of stretch we're looking at here with good fixtures in a similar sort of position of good stuff happening around him, and should be the main focus of the attack and stuff. So I don't know, like Etikike down to Evan Nilsson. I mean, it works, right? Like, but I don't know. At the same time, like, is he just going to troll me again? I'd be begging for it if I did it, I think. But at the same time, like, he could be on penalties. 3 goals in the last 4 is good form. But I feel like most of them have been kind of tap-ins. So, like, is Krupi just the better option for getting 80, 70 minutes and possibly on penalties, and just cheap, and just allows you to do more stuff with the money? So I don't know. Depends on my tether with Etikike, and like, I don't know why he keeps being benched. Like, I don't know. And the fixtures for Liverpool are not good coming up either. So Newcastle at home this week, Man City at home, and then Sunderland away. So and then Forest away after that. So those look tough in terms of goals. So Evan Nilsson, and Krupi.
Well, I think it's one of my main issues with Evan Nilsson was just that he's, like you say, he's never been like the main guy. Like, I'm just having a look at like the numbers. He's had 18 starts this season. He's got 5 goals, and like you say, 3 of them have come in the last 4 game weeks. So that's not great. What the hell was he doing for the rest of the game weeks? 3 assists, and then also you kind of like in seasons gone by, or even now, you kind of think that what Thiago's been doing is he's been getting the goal, and he's usually been getting like 2 or 3 bonus points. So he's had 5 goals. He's only maxed 5 bonus so far this season. So like, I think Evan Nilsson for that money, and probably, let's just say, probably not 100% on penalties, it's just like too much.
I guess he's almost been. Yeah, he's kind of been the player who's just like almost a distraction for like the Semenyos and stuff. The Semenyos just also been so good of just mopping up goals, whereas he was like the kind of guy who's holding up the defenders and stuff like that, and kind of like what Gyökeres kind of does for Arsenal, but like to a lesser degree, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't mean, and Cooper, I like, I don't mind him as a replacement for Etikike if you're looking to upgrade elsewhere. I'd probably still prefer Mane because of the double game week before like a wild card. But yes, he also looks good. But you're right, like, you can't rely on him for 90 minutes, but he'll play like 60 to 70. So yeah, if I was gonna pick a budget one now, it would probably be Mane.
Yeah, it's just really hard to pick. Like they've got such good fixtures, but they're
I
just
know.
like hard to pick who.
I
And they've
know.
bought this guy from somewhere from Brazil,
Yep.
Ryan Vasco
Ryan.
or
Yeah.
something like that. And he's supposedly got a bit of hype around him. It's supposed to be pretty good. So, I mean, let's see what happens with him. I suppose. I mean, they've got a decent run of fixtures that you can kind of wait and see what happens with him. Maybe he'll beat my penalties.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
It's so funny because I feel like with Bournemouth, it's almost like we're in their pre-season now, like learning what their team's going to be like because they've like sold players at the start of the season and they've sold Semenyo, lost Cliver. It still feels like every match we're like learning a little bit more about like who is actually going to make up that 11. And now, Tavernier's gone as well.
Just so many young players. Like that Adley guy is
yeah.
returning, but like when I was watching in that Liverpool game a bit, like he looked like he lacked a lot of end product. He kept kind of just like giving the ball away, and it's like his final pass was quite poor. So like I can't imagine him starting or being an option that much, basically.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with you. All right, what should we pivot and talk about now? What else have I made some notes on? Well, let's talk about Chelsea a little bit because they're obviously quite popular as well this game week. If I like have a look at all players in, Pedro is in at third after, is it like 3 returns in 2 game weeks now? I think it is.
Yeah,
and he started both of those still before, and returned
not playing 90 still, even though the Delap's not there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Some of his returns against Palace were like a bit fortunate, and the one against Brentford was it was a good goal, but perhaps a bit fortunate. But what he's quite good at is he does actually get the bonus when he returns. Like we talked about Evan Nielsen, like he's had 8 returns, but he's got 20 he's had 8 goals, but he's got 20 bonus so far this season. So that's huge. But yeah, just in last 4 game weeks, then just on Chelsea, they're the 3rd highest XG, and now is their, let's say, a good run too with West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley. So last 4, surprisingly, their XGC per 90 is not actually that great. 1.2 expected goals conceded per 90. So if you go in defence, I think you've got to make sure you've got the Def Connor, so the centre back in there, because their clean sheet output is not reliable, and Cucurella has not been reliable for attacking returns. Gusto's been like mixed, and James is obviously not reliable for minutes. So Chalobah, who is the obvious prime defensive Chelsea pick, who's like the 8th or highest transfer in this game week. He's 5.6 million. I think he's the 2nd highest overall scoring defender, but he's only owned by 20.8% of the game. He's got DEFCON 10 times in 22 appearances, so he's not like super duper reliable for it, but he's okay. So I think he looks good for this next 4, but the 2 immediately after that, or the 3 immediately after that, not great. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton, then City, then Man United. So like it's a good run of 4, but then like a bad run of 5. So I don't mind Chalobah. I think you did well to go early last week, and you've like stopped yourself having a decision there. And then
what do you think about? I was just gonna say, do you think there's gonna be rotation in this West Ham game? Because the Champions League Wednesday night, and they have to win, or well, they don't have to win, but to guarantee top 8. And they're playing Napoli, who Napoli have to win in order to get through to the next round, because they're 25th, and then you need to be in the top 24 to get to the next stage. So at home to Napoli.
It's away against Napoli, actually.
Oh, is it away? Okay, fine. So yeah, there could be rotation, because you imagine the first team plays that Napoli game, I think. And then is there going to be rotation against West Ham? Like, is João Pedro, if you're thinking of going there, Enzo, Chalobah, are they going to be rotated in West Ham?
It's really short turnarounds as well, because after that, they play West Ham they play the Napoli game Wednesday evening, then they play the Arsenal game. Oh, sorry, not the Arsenal game. They play the Napoli game tomorrow. They play the West Ham game Saturday evening, and then they play the Arsenal League Cup game. I think it's on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, and then I think they might even play again on the Saturday the following week against Wolves.
Yeah, that West Ham game looks like it's prime for rotation for the first players.
Maybe. I mean, Rosinia's already spoken a little bit about resting players and rotating because you can't play. Though that said, I mean, some players are so important to them, I just can't see them being like Enzo and Chalobah. I kind of feel like are quite locked. I'd be surprised if I've been rotated.
Enzo play them all. Surely he needs a rest, right? Or did he get taken off early? Is that maybe? Like Chalobah and Enzo start, but just get taken off early?
Maybe. Well, I'm having a look at Enzo's minutes. So he's come off early in 2 of the last 3 games. I mean, admittedly, not much. 6 minutes early against Brentford and like 25 minutes early in the Fulham game. But otherwise, he's pretty reliable for 90. I don't think Chalobah's been subbed so far this season.
Yeah,
Be
that's fair.
surprised
I
if he
mean,
has 90
yeah,
minutes.
it's kind of like a Van
But
Dijk and Gabriel. They'll just
yeah,
play,
they'll
wouldn't they,
just
as centre
play.
backs? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really not sure what to do about this fixture run because, like I say, their XG is great. The XG is great, but the XGC is not.
Yeah.
Chalobah looks fine. He's just quite expensive for a Def Connor. Like he's a little bit cheaper than Tarkowski, I suppose. Yeah, and Enzo, I'm like not fully sold on. Like, yeah, he's on pens when Palmer's not on the pitch, and Chelsea have had 2 pens in the last 2 game weeks. From open play, his numbers are actually okay. 0.4 XG average per game is actually the joint highest of all mids so far this season. 0.2 for XG, for XA average over the course of the season is like about the 12th best. So yeah, perhaps he's been a bit unlucky not to score more. But when I like watch the highlights of a game or like see his like let's say his attacking involvement, it never seems to be like that impressive to me. Yet yeah, he's doing pretty well, and I feel like I've got a bit of FOMO on not owning him this week for sure.
Yeah, same.
I got no clear route to get him either, really.
Should have just done him instead of Rodgers, but I mean, at least
Rodgers
Rodgers
returned.
returned. But yeah, but it's like he didn't return 2 weeks in a row, whereas Enzo did. So
Rodgers got a good game this week as well. So yeah, it's really tough.
true. Yeah, if I had the money from Minte, I wish I could do that. That would be so nice.
So which Chelsea players do you think
yeah.
you'll end up getting this week apart from Chalobah?
I mean,
Do
I
you think
guess
you'll
I've
get
got
another one?
Etikike that so maybe I look at João Pedro, but like I could see him being benched at West Ham. Like
Yeah,
that seems so almost so likely.
inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I probably just don't go there just to avoid the pain. But I can't really get to Enzo anyway either. So probably just an avoid for now, I suppose, for me.
Yeah.
And just stay with Chalobah and hope. I think like defensively wise, I think they'll probably keep like 2 clean sheets or
In this
something like that.
form.
Like they kept a clean sheet the other week where they weren't expected to against Brentford at home. Like I wasn't expecting them to keep a clean sheet there. And they've been pretty good defensively in the Champions League as well. So like they can keep clean sheets. So even with bad XGC. Maybe some of the XGC is happening from Sanchez just from being a knob.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. So yeah, it's funny. They're on a really good like run now, and I kind of want some of their players, but I'm just like really conflicted about which ones to get.
Yeah,
Tough.
I was going to talk about Esteval as well. Like I think he
Yeah.
looks great in the last game. Like can he secure like a side spot? Like it's there to be one, I think. Like that right wing position. Neto can play on the left. Like Garnacho has been good, but patchy, I suppose. 1 goal, 1 assist versus Palace. Yeah, man of the match. Obviously, I'm saying Enzo's the safer pick, but I think like Esteval, like you can see, like he's got a haul potential in any game, basically. It's just the risk, I guess.
It's just his minutes,
maybe he's too young for his minutes to just be like nailed on, I suppose. But I wish he was because I think he looks great. It's just a fun player to watch.
Yeah, and I think next season, I mean, the fact I'm just having a look now. He's had 7 goal involvements in nine starts, which is great. 675 minutes. Yeah, I think next season, yeah, he could be definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
I suppose it would just be good to have a chat about some other players. We spoke a little bit about Mbuemo, or you spoke about him. Mbuemo as part of the Man United lineup. I think he's a fine pick this week. And United in general, they only play 1 current top 4 side between now and game week 32. He's been playing OOP, so perhaps I'm getting a bit distracted by Enzo. Maybe I should be looking at the double up on United, who are actually going to play. I expect Mbuemo's minutes are going to go up now. 1, because Dorgu's out. 2, because they're not going to be playing City or Arsenal. I feel like they were almost like game specific that he comes off early. I kind of think that he'll play more minutes now.
Who plays that left wing instead of like does Cunha play there?
Yeah, I imagine Cunha plays there.
Does like Mbuemo switch over and Sesko starts up the
yeah,
top?
possibly.
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
That'd be interesting.
For United, but they've got options there. And then I suppose that the 2 things I just wanted to get your thoughts on really. Well, Saka is 1, so I expect most people watching are already on triple Arsenal. But if they beat Chelsea, which is, roughly around the next time we're going to record, it looks like we're going to get that anticipated double game week. So double game week 26, which would mean they play away at Brentford, away at Wolves. Their next four fixtures now would look really great. So Leeds away, Sunderland home, Brentford away, Wolves away. All teams you would expect them to beat, and obviously they're only 4 points behind or ahead of City now. Given what we know now about another week of Arteta's management of Saka and how he got benched in the game in game week 22, I feel like, as well as Etikike being a sell, I wonder if now is ahead of these fixtures like a good or a great chance even to switch to 3 reliable minutes guys for Arsenal players who are likely to play both during the double game weeks, and then it also just cancels out any worry about Saka's minutes. So
who is that? Timber, Gabriel, and Rice, I guess.
Exactly, and yeah, Timber, Gabriel, Rice, maybe Saliba as well. And because I just don't think any of that forward line in the Arsenal team you can reliably say are going to start consistently. And it just made me think, well, if people have got Saka, is now the game week to sell him to help fund the pivot to Chelsea players.
Might almost be a reason to wildcard, possibly, just to switch out the Ekitikes, the Sakas, and to be able to get those Chelsea players you want things, and Mbuemo as well. Saka is I imagine they've got Kairat at home in the last stage of the Champions League on Wednesday.
Probably rest him for that, won't they?
He probably rests there because they're already guaranteed top 8 or even guaranteed first place, I think it is. So I mean, if he starts the game, I'd be like, oh my god, what is going on? But yeah, so Leeds away, I think, is a good fixture, but he's been so bad. I don't know. Yeah, it's just I probably do need to sell him, but I keep just the hope of him being good. Him and Ekitike just burning up the money, I suppose.
How many goals has he actually scored this? He's only scored 4 goals this season.
Yeah, and I think that was in all the weeks where I got off him. I think I sold him and then he instantly scored 4 weeks in a row or something. So, and I think that was the time when you owned him as well, which is funny. So,
I had him for a little bit. Yeah, game week 11 to 15. Yeah, he got 2 goals. Yeah, he's been so patchy though this season.
Yeah.
Really patchy. But Arsenal need to start winning again. They've not won in 3 games now.
True. So this could be the time where it's just oh, he's been so bad, but maybe now is not the time to sell him. Yeah.
And then obviously just to talk about Etikike, you mentioned it a little bit, but it's laughable how bad he's been for 8.7 million. So most people probably bought him. I mean, you definitely did after that Spurs away game before Christmas when he scored 9 points, and I think the week before he'd scored 13. But since then he's had 6 matches. He's played in 4 of them, and the points he's returned are 5-2, 0-0-2, and then 1. I kind of think it's likely that I will start him this week against Newcastle. But it's a real frustrating because I would much prefer to just invest that money into midfield or defence now, and I'm now in a position where I would have to take a hit to get rid of him, and I'm just not sure that's the right play.
So where would you go if you do sell him?
I think I just have to. Yeah, I think I'd just have to go down, and just commit.
Would you go all the way down, or would you go a stopgap in Bowen and João Pedro, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think I'd go João Pedro. I think I'd go a reliable mid-price forward.
DCL, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
maybe.
DCL. Maybe if I had the money, Bowen. Because I'm just thinking that I don't think the budget is too important now. Palmer's not fit, Saka's not returning. Most of the premium defenders are less than 6 million, but
you'd be stuck with a 4-3-3 again then, or a 3-4-3, and then
maybe.
the 3 forwards are just not doing it right. So,
but you'd probably be in. Not that I would want to do this because I don't like having the choice, but you could probably be quite comfortably in a position. You could have 5 playable midfielders, including someone like a Drewsbury Hall. Yeah, you could have 4 defenders, which probably VVD, 1 Arsenal player, a Chelsea player, and then some good DEFCON guys, and then you have a forward line of Haaland, Thiago, and Calvert-Lewin / Bowen, and you would just have a benching dilemma every week, which sounds awful. But there's, I think the players that have scored the highest amount of points this season in the team of the season only amount to 83 million. So we've got more budget than we need.
Also, just fuck Van Dijk, what a twat.
Oh man,
I can't stand
him.
Just absolutely awful. And just Of course he scores the week I sell him. Of course he does. What a prick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just nails down my season. It's just constant, just awful luck of just selling a player when they've been so bad. And they still look, they've got terrible fixtures coming up with all the reasons to do it. And then he goes and scores. It's just,
it's so annoying. And he hadn't got, and also he got DEFCON for like the first time in, what was it, like 8 or 9 game weeks.
There you go as well. What a wanker, honestly. Just the expletives right now, but that's how much I hate the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it's difficult, really difficult. His only goal of the season. Yeah, you're right, and the fixture run's not great either. I mean, Liverpool are just like not doing well. They've had 4 draws and a loss in their last 5 game weeks. I think they've only had 3 wins. Anyway, so I think you obviously made the right decision, but so typical it was this game week that happened.
All right, yeah, let's leave it there, I think.
Cool. All right, we'll be back on Thursday with our team selection. Should be interesting because I think some decisions be made this week. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We're out. Until next time. Bye.
Yeah. Cheers all.